Welcome, everybody, one and all, to episode 9 of Jag Blitz. The sky's falling! Oh my gosh, the sky's falling! We are bringing you the Duval to the internet. I'm your host, La Boyd. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, the MC Wale. How's it going, sir?
The sky is not falling. Calm the hell down.
Well, you figure after our performance this past week, the sky is falling.
It wasn't a great performance, but I have my reasons on why it happened and why we won't see a game like that happen again here in Jacksonville for a long time.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely curious to see that. So, well, quick overview. We are a wonderful talk show. We talk about everything and anything Jaguars. We are just wonderful fans trying to give you an alternative to 1010XL. So come listen to us versus them. The 3 topics we've got tonight: Game 3 overview, initial thoughts, highlights, if any, general feeling of the team, and then kind of our main topic: does this performance from Game 3 kind of change our view of coaching, front office, the team as a whole? And then we'll do a kind of quick recap looking ahead to Game 4. So let's hop right into it. What did you think of Game 3?
That was bad. It was a bad football game. Just from the get, just didn't get off to a good start. When they went 3 and out on their first possession, it was not. It obviously it was not the way they wanted to set the tone for the game. But just they look bad. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The offense was not good. Defense was probably worse. Now, granted, the defense is beat up in that secondary, but still, that's no excuse for allowing Tom Brady to literally score on 9 straight possessions. Like, you're professionals. You're supposed to be better than that. You're supposed to put up some sort of fight. And it's just a good thing that this game happened early in the season and not week 14, week 15, week 16. It happened in week 3. And, I mean, come on. It's the New England Patriots. Did you really think we were going to win that game? Because I know going in, it's like you hope to be competitive and you hope to have a pretty decent showing. Maybe shock the world if all the cards aligned. But, man, when the wheels came off, it came off pretty quickly.
I mean, for me, I didn't expect to win. I'll be honest. I didn't expect to win. The thing that I did look forward to was to see the run game really kind of progress, because that's really what I thought we'd lean on. And the fact that we didn't lean on the run game at all was a little disappointing. And not necessarily because I don't think we can run the ball. I think that our offense is so young that we went into panic mode. We're down 10-0, 17-0. 20-0, and then it's like, oh, gotta throw. And the inability to change the game plan up and be successful on offense was embarrassing. It reminded me a lot of what we looked like last year, and that's kind of what I didn't want to see. The defense, I'll chalk up the defense injury. I don't know what it is with us and injuries, especially on defense. House went down, Sergio went down. And then they're putting in, like, me and this friend of mine are going through. We're watching the game together and kind of go through. And I'm like, who is this? When they pulled in the guy after they put in Nick Marshall and then I think it was House, because Sergio got hurt before House. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who is this person playing safety?
Yeah,
like,
Peyton Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson. I was like, I don't know who this is. Like, where did he come from? And it just one of those things where I feel like the depth is just not there. And a lot of it's because we have 15 to 16 people on injury right now at a 53-man roster.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, okay, like, something's got to give. So the highlights, the only thing I can say for highlights is that Blake, for the most part, didn't look like he gave up. You could see his frustrations. He's still there. My general feeling for the team is it's really hard to give a grade for how poorly we did just because we're down so many people. My only concern is that it never seemed like coaching didn't make an adjustment at all in the game. And I think it was even worse when the stupid announcers highlighted, like, why is everybody playing back so far? Because there were a couple times that we had them on 3rd and long, and we didn't play press.
That's one of the concerns that I had going into the game. But continue. I have a little rant prepared for that.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there like, how does our defensive-minded coach not make defensive adjustments? Was mind-boggling. And it just seemed like, okay, we're gonna let Tom Brady not burn us, but they don't really have any quote unquote burners other than Gronk.
Right.
And Paz was just playing chase mode the whole time.
Yeah, it was the worst game of the season.
And go through, my wife, who is an average, casual football fan, is looking like, where do they keep throwing to? Who's 51? I'm like, honey, that's Paz. That's Paz. And my buddy who sees Paz every now and then because he comes into the restaurants, like, just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to throw Paz under the bus, but this is bad.
It was really not bad. A good situation. No, just looking back at the game, and this, we've had a couple of days to digest it and look back at it. The issue that I have is just with the entire game plan. All right, that the Patriots are going to pretty much say, hey, like we all knew going into this game, hey, the Patriots run defense is going to be weakened. The Patriots run defense is not very good. You should be able to run on them. But you're playing against Bill Belichick, so what do you think he's going to do? Oh, he's going to make sure he forces you to do things the way that you don't want to. That whole game plan was set for Blake to try and win that game with his arm and not with the running game. Why do you think the running game was so ineffective? They game planned for that. So it was like, hey, let's force Blake to throw. If they had come out on that, let's say if they had come out in the first half and decided to throw the ball 26 times instead of trying to run, then you got the Patriots on their heels like, oh man, we were prepared for the run a little bit, but they're out here passing on us. And that's one of the things. Then on defense, Gus Bradley has had 3 years. He's got his guys here to fit in the roles. And his defense looks like shit. I'm sorry. That's what it does. It does. It's not a Seattle. It doesn't look like Seattle. Doesn't look like what Dan Quinn has got down and up in Atlanta because they're playing good defense. Seattle's playing good defense. Why the hell isn't Gus Bradley, who in his 3rd year should have enough guys to where his defense is effective? It was absolutely piss poor on Sunday. And the worst part about it is that these wide receivers aren't going to beat you deep. They are short. And like they're not fast. They're quick, but they run underneath routes. They do not do anything along like down the field. The Patriots haven't had a deep threat in about 3 years. So what should you do if you've got wide receivers that are literally going to just run underneath routes? I don't know. Instead of being backed up 7 or 8 yards in defense, why don't you get right on the line of scrimmage and jam those wide receivers right at the line? Knowing that Tom Brady is more of a timing / rhythm quarterback, you disrupt the timing of the wide receivers. He has to stop in the pocket. And you know what happens the 2 times that he did that he pulled the ball down because he didn't have an open receiver? What happened? Coverage sack.
Yep.
It's irritating, and it's not that I'm frustrated with Gus. I am frustrated with Gus a little bit, but it's more like, all right, we're the common fan, and we're out here, and trust us, we know that everything that goes into an NFL game and the game planning, all that stuff is probably a lot deeper than what we expect. But let's just be real. If you know that the wide receivers aren't fast, they're not going to burn you deep, what's the point in playing zone? Play man press, jump those guys at the line, and see what happens. Maybe your defense is able to force a turnover, and maybe you're not going into halftime down 20-3. Granted, Blake throwing that interception was brutal, but still, you need a better effort. You need a better show from both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it was just, and I said it was embarrassing. And I expected us to get beat. I really did, but the fact that our offense didn't really put anything together till garbage time. What was embarrassing, and it reminded me of last season, which I was hoping we were past, and we'll kind of form right into this. The performance from week 3, does it change your overall view and outlook of Gus, Dave, and the team, and where the team's progressing as a whole right now?
Well, for me, it's not a matter of it's changed the perspective of the team. It's just or what my thoughts of the guys. It's just that like it makes you think like, all right, we're seeing some of the same stuff that we saw in year 1 and year 2. Year 3 is supposed to be that year where we're supposed to see a lot of progression. We're supposed to see some good stuff happening, and we've seen glimpses and bits pieces here or there, but for the most part, it's still the same old crap we've been seeing the past 2 years. I'm not a guy that I want Gus to be successful, but I feel that he's going to be a much more successful coach at his next job than he will be here.
Wow. I don't.
That's me calling my shot. I mean, let's just look at the facts. He hasn't hit double digit win record yet. He's still trying to get not what he's gotten his 8th win. He needs 2 more wins to get to 10 wins. All right.
Yeah.
And every other game we have lost. His defense supposed to be good. He's supposed to be a defensive coordinator. He's supposed to have these guys ready and attacking and blitzing and all of the stuff. And his defenses, they're okay at times, but they're bad at times. Like, why is it so inconsistent? And I put this more on Gus than I do on Dave, because I think Dave Caldwell has put together a roster that I'm not saying should be winning or even or competing for playoffs, but I'm saying it should be a roster that should be improved. It should be a team that should be able to accomplish 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. You know what I mean? Depending on the luck of the draw. You've got 3 extremely winnable games coming up in here. You've got the Colts. We're going up to the Colts on Sunday, and then we're going down to Tampa the week after, and then you've got a bad Houston team coming into town. You could literally, if you find a way to win 2 out of those 3 games, you're at 500. You're 3-3.
Top of the division, probably.
And you're probably at the top of the division. Whether that's going to happen or not remains to be seen. But the outlook for Gus is, look, we all want you to be successful, but turn the shit around. Otherwise, it's not going to be.
So my thought, this doesn't change the feeling for me as to where the team's at as a whole or Dave. This really comes down to me to coaching. And I'll preface this a little bit in that I don't know if removing Gus is the best of ideas, because my fear is that, okay, so hypothetically, let's say we get rid of Gus this year. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then we get another head coach. The new head coach is going to get another offensive coordinator. So that's 3 offensive coordinators for Blake in 3 years. And I don't know if they're going to let's say they look internally and they give it to Doug Marrone, which he doesn't seem like he's all there. And he had a decent season in Buffalo and then dipped out on Buffalo. Or let's say we go for a real big Hail Mary here and you give it to Greg Olson. It's like, okay, this is his first head coaching gig, We're kind of, again, back to, he's not going to be coaching the offense unless we're having a Mike McCarthy kind of situation where he's calling plays on offense and doing other stuff. So that's my concern, is I don't want another Blaine Gabbert situation where he's on his 3rd offensive coordinator and there's no consistency, because for a young quarterback, you've got to have consistency in a scheme and stuff like that. And I just don't think that a head coach, like a head coaching candidate that we're going to go interview, and I'll say I don't think that Gus is here after this season. I don't think that another head coaching candidate's going to be like, yeah, it's fine. We can keep Greg Olson here. Or if Dave has to go towards whoever this head coaching candidate is, like, you can have full reign over personnel except this one person to keep I don't know how that works. Like, I'm not smart enough in terms of NFL process, front office process, to say, yeah, this is going to happen, because that in coaching, ego comes a part of it, and you got to have your guys. You mentioned it, Gus has got his guys in place, and I definitely think that coaching right now seems to be, and not even other than injury, seems to be the biggest issue. Like my wife, who is a very casual fan, comments, we look unprepared. We don't look like we game plan. We don't look like we adjust. And she, of making very not to pick on Blake and we're kindergartners, but it just doesn't seem like we adjust well, whether it's in game or whether it's at halftime. Like, those are the 2 biggest things. Like, you go into halftime, Tony Khan in the analytics department is putting stuff down there. Like, here's 15 videos of Paz getting burned in the middle. Maybe we should adjust that.
Yeah, maybe we should fix that. Here's the only thing, and this is the only thing that is giving Gus and the entire coaching staff a pass this week. It's the New England freaking Patriots. I mean, the Patriots are such a good team.
I get that.
We
look
yes.
like that. We played probably to the level that we played against the Panthers. The difference is the Panthers were hurt missing people, and Cam had no real first option. And we for whatever reason covered Greg Olsen, but I mean we let them run all over us.
Yeah, that Patriots team is a lot like, okay, think about how poorly we played against the Panthers. And even though the Panthers are 3-0, I would not consider them to be a good team.
No,
let's just be
I
real.
Wouldn't. I wouldn't
You're
either,
looking at a well-oiled juggernaut in the Patriots, and that is the only thing that is saving Gus Bradley from a lot of ire from me this week. And that's because it's the freaking Patriots, man. They hung up 40 on the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills have a defense that's much better than ours. You know, so them hanging 51 on us is, it's concerning, it's disappointing, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And another thing, it's still week 3. It's so early in the regular season. You could still there's still a lot of time to turn this around.
So we'll go right into the last topic. Looking at Game 4, I think this is a very winnable game. Like, the Colts look bad. They look soft on defense. Andrew Luck may not be playing.
He's playing.
That was kind of hinted at. Oh, I think he's going to.
He's going to play.
It looks like this game, this is not the Colts we're used to. This is a Colts team that looks old, that looks like they're very vulnerable, and Andrew Luck, for whatever reason, doesn't look like he's on his game. Do you think, and we'll just say this before we run into kind of where we're at, do you think if we lose this game, that's it for Gus? Like, done? Or do you think it's got to take more than that?
I think it takes more than a loss. It depends. First off, depends on how you lose. If you go out there and lay another egg like you did last Sunday and you lose to the Colts 45-0, then you're sitting here looking like, all right, maybe Gus is definitely overmatched here. But this, I think they win this game, man. I'm sorry. It's like, I think if you that Colts offensive line is not good. It really isn't, and I think
Pagano says it hasn't been good for a while.
Yeah. And then Chuck Pagano might just tank this entire season because he wants out of Indianapolis, man. Because that's not a good situation when your head coach and your GM aren't even on the same page. That does not spell a lot of confidence for the squad. So it's like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, okay, can the Jags rebound and can they bounce back from a disappointing situation that they had last week in New England? And I think yes, they can. My guess is this: we got a little bit of good news. We got Andre Branch and Luke Joeckel and Cyprien all practicing, and not limited, but practicing full. And Gratz practicing in full today. So I mean that's a good sign that you'll have a couple of those injured guys that your cornerstone guys that you figure are going to be playmakers for your squad this year, back on the field practicing and getting back into the routine. So having Luke Joeckel, even though Sam Young has played well in that left tackle spot, having Luke Joeckel back there, I'm not saying is going to be a helpful situation, but it's encouraging. I think they need to make the switch for AJ Cann or Tyler Shatley at left guard because Zane Beatles has got to go, man. He is not good.
He's our highest rated offensive line.
He's so bad. He's not good. He's not good. Everybody else on that squad, Brandon Linder, hopefully I believe he practiced full today. So hopefully you can kind of re-gel, get that offensive line back, and then just Blake Bortles trying to rebound and shake off all the negative stuff from last week and play more like Miami Blake versus New England Blake. And then on the defensive side of the ball, having Andre Branch coming back, I tweeted this earlier. I was like, having him, I'm conflicted about it because I don't like Andre Branch. I don't think he's a very good player, but he does do some good things on run defense, which helps. So, and then on, it's another body that you have back you can put into the rotation. We'll see. So we'll see how that works. You can have Andre Branch, Chris Clemens, and having that rotation. Maybe it gets Clemens a little bit of a break. He's not having to play as many snaps as he was. And then also looking at the Colts, Andrew Luck has a shoulder injury, man, and it's his right shoulder. That's his throwing arm. If let's say if he's going through practice, he's day to day right now. Let's say it's going through practice and it gets worse. You might not be playing an Andrew Luck this week, and that gives you an even more of a leg up on potentially beating this team. So you just have to put your best foot forward if you're Jacksonville, if you're Gus Bradley, and really get these guys focused and ready to play.
So my feeling for this game is we should win. The Colts defense doesn't look like it can stop anybody. I think this is, if there's a game where you feel like that this should be a rebound game to make yourself and rebuild your confidence, I feel like this is the game. Other than Tampa, I think Tampa is another one where a defense that just doesn't play very well, a defense that is easy, can be scored upon. This is that game where you should really build on Blake's confidence here. Let him sling the ball, run for the love of God to the right side of the offensive line, and let TJ just run. Get TJ the ball 25 times, and then let Blake throw it 30 times.
I don't care who runs, as long as somebody can run the ball.
To the right, not to the left. I'm sick of seeing these plays to Sam Young and Zane Beadles, or Luke Jokel and Zane Beadles. Run to Linder and Parnell. I love Parnell's picture every time they show his face. But run to that side. Run to the strength of your offensive line and do something. Do something to move the ball and score points. I picked up Blake in fantasy because my fantasy league doesn't count negatives for sacks or interceptions. So he's been averaging 20 points a game in my league. So I was like, please, just do that. And the defense, I think, if we can somehow be better, just as good as we were against Miami, this game's winnable. Even though we're 10-point underdogs, I don't think this is the Colts team of last year or the year before that. They're definitely having issues. And
they've got a 96-year-old Frank Gore at running back. You've got a guy in Andre Johnson who's 39,000 years old.
He always burns us though.
Yeah, I know he does, but man, like that age and that time has gotten to him. He doesn't run as well as he used to. And the funny thing is like if you look at the stats between Blake Bortles and Andrew Luck, they're not, outside of Andrew Luck having probably just a better passing percentage, they're almost split. Blake Bortles 57 completions, 106 attempts, 698 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. Andrew Luck 65 of 116 attempts, 753 yards, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Woo.
I mean, it's
Can you believe
it's not as bad as you would think it is.
Can you believe that Blake's on pace to throw for 3,700 yards and 24 touchdowns?
It'll be interesting to see. I'd like to see it.
I would too. No, I'm right there. This game should be winnable. If we don't win this game, barring a missed kick or something, the only way I'm okay with a potential loss is if the game's 28-27. Something 24-21, like
something like that.
Goal?
Yeah, like you missed a game-winning field goal or something, or game-tying field goal or something.
Freak accident, Hail Mary or something.
Something like that. Yeah, that's the only way I would be super upset. Like I would be okay with it. If you come out and you lay an egg against this bad Colts team, then
and they
you're not
team.
You're not giving a lot of confidence to your fan base, saying, "Hey, that we're gonna do our best to get better and to compete," because this is a 7-9 winnable division. And
yes,
we've been saying it during the offseason, and then watching it play out as it has. Look, go out there, win it. I don't care if you win ugly. Find a way to win the game. Get you back. Get that winning karma back on your side.
Get back so we can go beat Jameis down in Tampa.
Yeah, a bad Tampa team too. So I mean,
it's one of those things. I definitely
get after it.
This division reminds me of the
NFC South
West.
2014.
NFC West or NFC South, NFC West when the Seattle went 7-9.
Oh, so you're going back a few years.
You know they're. Woo. But no, this is definitely what it reminds me of. Is a very poor division, and you've got some people that have pieces in place. The Titans with Mariota. Looks like we got a new team member. Woo!
Oh, sweet.
Doesn't show the name here. Here we go. Oh, it's too late. But there you go. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. I think this is winnable, and it needs to be. If it's not, then Dia Airy, thank you for the follow there. But we've got to do something, because if not, all hell's breaking loose. Everybody that was harping on Gus to be let go is just intensified tenfold. And it just kind of carries over into the Tampa game, where then people are going to pick Tampa, even though Tampa hasn't looked very good other than their one win against New Orleans, which New Orleans doesn't look very good either because they don't have Drew Brees.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's one of those things where this game, and like you said, the next 3 games can set us off to build confidence and get healthy, to get Marks back, to get Thomas back, and the rest of the freaking roster back from injury, because these teams aren't good. They are not good teams. These are teams that you can sit there and lick your wounds per se. Let's just win, and then when we get healthy, we get Thomas back for 10 games, we're just really good.
Well, just think about it. Like, when the Jags beat Miami, did you feel how much pressure came off of the team? Mm-hmm. So much pressure came off. And then, of course, now people are freaking. But then again, it's like it added a lot of pressure to say, hey, go out and beat the Patriots. But it's a different level of pressure. But you want to dissipate some of the pressure, Gus. You want to feel better, a little bit better. Sunday afternoon, coming home. Sunday night, coming home from Indianapolis. Here's how you do it: you win. Find a way to win this game. A lot of pressure will cease. Everybody will start talking like, "Oh, okay, looks like we're just back on the right track." It was just a little hiccup against the Patriots, because the Patriots are the best team in the league, which is my main point to begin with. But a lot of people still want to think that the Patriots were, beatable. No, they weren't. But
no,
find a way to win. Find a way to win. Come home at 2-2. Come home at a 500 record into Week 4, and then just take it a game at a time. Figure it out.
So we're gonna wrap up. We're about 30 minutes in. That's our time. We will be back next Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Don't forget to follow us here on Twitch, and then also follow us on the YouTube channel, which is Jag Blitz at YouTube. You can follow Wale at DMC Wale on Twitter, and you can follow myself at Loboid. Thank you for anybody that followed, and we will catch you guys next week.
I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.